Hey, it's Shane with GotRom.com. I want to talk to you today about why foam rolling completely sucks for improving your range of motion and your mobility in the long run. Now, of course, mobility with the foam roller, foam rolling, self-massage, self-myofascial release with the foam roller doesn't suck in the beginning. It only sucks if you never go beyond this. If you only ever use this, don't expect your range of motion and your tissue texture, tissue quality to change in the long run. What I mean is that your body always adapts to whatever you consistently and chronically do. So if you're always rolling your muscles out with a foam roller, at some point your body will acclimate to that, and then no further change in the texture of your muscles will be made. Not to mention, this is kind of a big, blunt object. If you are really trying to increase your range of motion or really trying to fix an injury, you can't just stop at a foam roller because it's so big and blunt, and your body will adapt to the stress, it'll adapt to the stimulus fairly early on. It's kind of like if you take up weightlifting and you curl a 5-pound dumbbell and you never curl anything more than a 5-pound dumbbell, your arms will never grow, you'll never get any stronger. So you got to go beyond the 5-pound dumbbell and progress to something maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit more intense, and a little bit more pinpoint if you care about progressing in your range of motion or getting further along the path of resolving an injury or some kind of pain in your body. So, for example, I was just rolling out my quads with the foam roller. If I started with this quad baller tool, all of a sudden it's much more intense. It's denser, you can kind of grip the tissue a little bit more, and I can really start to kind of change the tissue a lot more. Of course, I would need to start with something like a foam roller in the beginning, because if I didn't, this might be too intense for someone who's never rolled a day in their life. So of course, you have to obey the law of progressive overload. Progressively overload your tissues with what they're used to, which is something larger and softer to something harder and more pinpoint. Or let's say that you've been rolling your quads out for a long time, and you got the big kind of meaty part of them softened up with the foam roller, and then with this, and then you realize that there's actually these like attachment points that need to be softened up and loosened up. Well, even this won't really get them, so sometimes you need to get down to something really nitty-gritty like this and kind of get in there and roll that out, laying face down like this. So that's just to not say that all foam rolling is bad. Foam rolling is great. I include it in a lot of my mobility programs, but it's just to illustrate the point that just like your strength training should be progressive, just like your running should be progressive, your tissue work and your stretching as well should be progressive. It should get more intense, therefore more effective over time, over a reasonable amount of time. So foam rolling completely sucks only if it's the only thing you ever do. It'll stop giving you gains at some point, so that's when you got to progress. So remember those two things.
Yeah.